to close the ball a little bit closer because they stay too far. You can't give Mbappe space and time. One of the best in the world at the moment. You give him space and time, he will finish like the way he finished there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, there was a lot of just disjointment between our players in defense because firstly, in the first goal, Lake wasn't there, but Usbisi was covering. And now you can see we're defending in patches. There, for me, Ukulu should have stayed on his feet more than anything. So it speaks about being ready and anticipating where the next ball is going to land. Again, here, all of us are just watching the ball, not watching the players. So it's important and key for players. Even if you're playing against a world class team, there are certain elements of the game that need to be perfect for you. And perfect, I mean, you need to perfect. Can we pass to each other? Can we communicate? Can we bring our low block? Can we be able to minimize spaces and areas where we have control? Because you decide how deep you defend, how much you double up against the best, you know. So for me, it's a great experience. And I think those are the talking points that the coach has taken to say, we played against the best in the world, how far behind we are. Andile, the moment as South Africans and in Africa, we are honest and realistic, Uguti, we are behind with our scouting, with our picking of players for the national teams, with how we are training our players in the clubs. And it's a lot of, the list is long.
Of the factors that contribute.
Of the factors that contribute.
Uhugo Bruce, what if you want to siguphi emhlabeni nje obesho nje uSimphiwe ubukile na umdlalo ke siguphi?
When you look at it, you'd go from the first game where we played against Guinea. Guinea were at AFCON. They went to the knockout stages. We managed to keep them at bay, 0-0. Then you're starting to gauge to say, okay, on the African continent, we're not too far off. We're not going to be embarrassed had we qualified for AFCON. That is the answer with the game against Guinea. Now you go play the world champions in France and you get beat 5-0. When the coach was here, we said to him, what is a respectable score? He said 3-0. And we made a follow-up question. Then he said 5-0 would be an embarrassment. And it was 5 because of a brilliant game that was had by Uronon Williams in goals. He made like 6 to 7 brilliant saves on the day. So in terms of the gap, in the world, we're still a bit, not a bit, I'm being kind, we are far from the best in the world. You saw how we were exposed in terms of space, tactical discipline, awareness of space. We were exposed in that department. Let's hope he took notes and is going to rectify when we have to play qualifiers for AFCON and World Cup coming up.
Well, that's it as far as that is concerned. You judge for yourself as to what you think of that. Remember, the MVP is on throughout the show up until Eklineni. Nina NMKT. The Soccerzone Extra is also a new thing where the two analysts, before we even begin, they sit down and they look at more matches that might not perhaps be covered here on Soccerzone as we go live. So make sure that after 11, you do catch Soccerzone Extra. When we come back, Nokovic scores a goal. Keegan Dolly is still hot. And of course, George Malulega scores as well. And it's his first goal in 2 years. But it's the match we're going to be looking at that's got to do with 2 red cards and 2 penalties. How many of those deserve it?
Order. To me or not to me, that is the joke. Remember all the fun and loss we had? Well, get ready for more with Tumulake and her panel of local celebs. Join us for the truly it's gonna be point of order. Are you able on CBT2?
I don't want anything from Giselle, and you'll notice it's dangerous and stuff. We shouldn't be taken in straight. You can't keep us in here forever. Is that a fact? You're gonna wish you'd never done this. I mean, by then it'll be too late.
The Tribe. Monday and Tuesday, 4:30, SABC2.
Is it stepping up to the penalty spot without fear?
Swung in! Oh, what a chance!
Is it putting your body on the line when it matters most?
Very nicely tied area. Long ball made. Opportunity to the back of the net.
Is it showing your tears for the world to see after a heartbreaking loss?
A remarkable performance here.
Is it lifting the trophy with pride? Yes, it's a magnificence. Our champions, handmade and crafted on our beautiful African soils. Witness the triumph of the 2021-2022 Total Energies CAF Champions League live on SABC Sport channels, SABC TV channels, and SABC radio stations in your language of choice. This season, we are #Crowning Champions, and we love it here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Before games, I set goals for myself, such as leading into space and scoring goals.
The 2021 Women's FIH Hockey Junior World Cup, live on SABC Sport channels and SABC TV channels, also available on Telkom 1.
It was raining goals in the DSTV Premiership this past weekend with a total of 22 goals scored in just 5 matches played. The opening goal of the weekend was an absolute stunner and a goal of the season contender that can only be stopped by the voting brigade. This as Zambian international Justin Shonga scored with a spectacular overhead kick to put Skukuni United 1 goal up against Stellenbosch FC. Babuya ke abafana base Windlands bashaya igoli lokulinganisa kusibambe sesibili. Umdlali waseVenezuela uJuan Ortiz kuyena ke othole ligoli owodwa nje umbuzo siwubuzayo ebeyapho bongumusa Dlamini. Royal AM improved their chances of playing CAF Champions League football next season in sensational fashion. Ngenkathi inqoba ngamagoli amane kwelodwa idlala ke nayo iTX Galaxy. Victor Letswalo opened the floodgates in the 26th minute as he headed home Zugile Mkhize's cross. The Bafana striker was back again to complete his brace 5 minutes later in a breakaway move that also saw him scoring his 13th goal of the season, just 2 goals shy of leading goal scorer Peter Shalulile. Azamake ukubuya ama-Rockets kukubi ngempela ekhaya. U-Augustine Kwem washaya ipenalty lokubika sekuyophela isiwombe sokuqala. Yaphinde ke futhi yabuya ithwihli thwahla. Bangalindele neze abafana baka-Team Sukazi. Umgadlo umkantshubomvu uNdumiso Mabhena wasitholela ke naye elakhe igoli eshaya i-free kick ebuya ebhenchini. Then the final nail in the coffin came deep in injury time as Mamkhize's boys put the game beyond reasonable doubt through Mfundo Tsigazi's goal to consolidate their place in the second spot. After 23 games played this season, Chippa United remain winless at home. Emva kokuthi idliwe ngamagoli amathathu kwelodwa ngenkathi iqondane neKaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs found the opener through Serbian striker Semir Nokovic. He scored his first goal of the season after connecting with yet another Cameroonian assist. Umshayi wamagoli weChile Boys nophuma eCameroon Benvenue Evanga wenza kadume ngazo eshaya igoli lakhe lesishumi kule season eqaleni nje kwesiwombe sesibili. Abuya ke amakhosi seyavuka ebhenchini ngomdlali webafana uKeegan Dolly oshaya unyazi lwe-free kick unozinto ophuma eNamibia uLloyd uzwe nje ngendaba. Stuart Baxter's substitutes were working perfectly on the night as yet another super sub, Cole Alexandra, added his name on the score sheet as he converted home Jabula Blom's well-weighed cross, Chiefs ensuring that the battle for the second spot is going down to the wire. Golden Arrows put up a brave fight ngenkathi inqoba ngamagoli amathathu kwamabili ngenkathi idlala neSuperSport United at Princess Magogo Stadium kwaMashu. From a fresh victory over Kaizer Chiefs, Arrows conceded a penalty inside the first 10 minutes and Jamie Weber easily converted from the penalty spot. Abafana besithende abadlalanga ngesikhathi uAkhona Makalima nabo wabakhomba emlotheni ngesikhathi uPule Modi ethi uwiswe phansi nguSifiso Ngobeni hayi walishaya phakathi uNduduzo Sibiya. However, However, the visitors restored the lead 5 minutes later. Some good play on the left channel from Rainers saw him sending in a low cross, and the School of Excellence product, Rasibuja, did the honors. It was Knox Mutizwa in the 77th minute as he rounded off some lekker interpassing game. Bekubonakala nje kuyi-offside leya kodwa hayi asazi umsizi kaNompempe. Emva komzuzu nje uNdwandwe nobuya ebhenchini wadumisa phakathi igoli lesithathu nelibuya ke nawo ke amaphuzu eshaya kamnandi ngekhanda icross kaSibiya wahlanganisa uRonan Williams namabali. Baroka FC are finding it difficult to move away from the dreaded relegation zone ngenkathi idliwa ngamagoli amahlanu kwelodwa iqondaneke nayo iCape Town City. Baroka struck first through Maluleka, who netted the opener after he was put through by Evidence Makgoba. Noma bathola igoli lokuqala bekuyelokugcina for bona ke abafana bakaThobejane. Avuki nje bomvu ama-Citizens ukhanyisa maye wathola igoli lokulinganisa ngesikhathi evalela phakathi icross kaThamsanqa Mkhize. 4 minutes later, City took the lead for the first time in this game as Mdantsane scored from the penalty spot after Mayo was mowed down inside the box. Kudlule nje eminye imzuzu emine wabuya uMdantsane hayi kodwa owaseMonti walishaya phakathi ngekhanda wandiza waphelela uOscarine Masuluke. With only 2 minutes left on the clock, it was Craig Martin's time to join the free scoring party, and he only needed a simple header after connecting perfectly with Mashiho's cross off a trademark Citizens counter-attack. Kuthenje sekusele imzuzu embalwa umdlalo uzophela, omunye umdlali obuye ebhenchini uMorris wasidapela ke naye evalela phakathi ipenalty. Uyayishonela ngempela iBaroka njengoba eshilo uThobejane, football will kill you a real death.
Sibongizwe Mapoloba. Let's take a look at what it means to the DStv Premiership, the games that we've just seen. The bottom there, still rooted, is Baroka. TS Chiefs coming up. Solos didn't play a match. Chippa United scored 1 by 3 against them.
And because from 12 to 16, it's only 5 points difference. That tells you you win your match, you move. You don't win, you draw. You're walking on thin ice.
Well, there you have it. In 9th, they've been enjoying top 8 privileges for the longest time. No difference from what's happened at the top. Whether the Sundowns are here or not, 11 points is the gap between themselves and Royal AM. I think you heard the voiceover. They said it's a battle for second place, really. It's a battle for second place. You're looking at a team that is in position 3. In the last 5 games, they managed to get 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 game that they lost. They're really pushing for that second spot. They have 2 games in hand, but 2 games in hand doesn't mean that it's points in the pack. They still need to work. They've done fantastically well. They just proud themselves with how they've represented that badge. These are the fixtures that you can afford. Sports United versus Chippa United. Chippa need all their points. Kaizer Chiefs and TS Galaxy. These 2 matches huge for both these teams, Chippa and Galaxy.
Huge for both these teams, and because of their defense, they have league differences both these teams, and it's going to be key for them. Because right now, these teams, even if you're playing teams that are on a roll, it's a bit different, obviously, and when you look at each Chippa and SuperSport, because SuperSport is not as consistent as Chiefs has become in the past few games.
When you're looking at SuperSport, minus 2 key players was right at over the weekend, so was Reynolds, so 2 experienced players that will be missing. TS Galaxy, the worst defense in the league, is going to be very important for them to do well. When you're looking at Wednesday, as well, you'll find Solos playing Mamelodi Sundowns. Solos are the worst scorer in the league, with only 11 goals scored. How are they going to score against Mamelodi Sundowns, who are the best defense?
Soccerzone. Siyathanda ukuthi nawe uhlele ekhaya uzizwe uyingxenye yethu. Sithe satha ke amakhamera zethu sathi ke masinifoteni okwenu uTorhwana.
Chiefs and dominate. It used to produce its own players and buy what they don't have. But now they are depending on buying, and not just buying, freebies, and not producing their own players. And also, I think the too much interference by management, it kills the game.
But we are coming. It was a lucky one. We're not there yet. Chiefs to I think Minale coach Lena man. Not for Ikosi anymore. Yeah, we straight backs and not for Ikosi anymore.
Stuart Baxter, this is the same coach that scored 4 against Chippa United in the last game. He scored 3 now. He's also scored another 3 goals in 1 match. So this is 3 times in the season that he scored 3. Of the last 15 points, he was able to get 10. Still not good enough for the Kosi Nation?
Unfair, to be exact, Andila. I think that's an unfair comment. You're looking at a Kaizer Chiefs team that missed key players throughout the season. Nakovic was not available at some point. Kama Billiard injured. Ramon Pahlele not available for them. They had to change their number 1 spots at all times. Kune, Akpei, Vuma, and also Peterson. They've all played. So this is a coach that did not have all his players at all times.
Asike sibuke ke umdlalo wa Kaizer Chiefs ibiqhubene phezulu ke neChippa United badlale kahle kakhulu bafana kodwa ke asuqale eqaleni siqale ke ngoEvangala na ke nethuba lakhe ethola icross kuya kuMatrosi.
I mean, it starts with a 5v3, and for me, it's Kaizer Chiefs to know we are not the fastest. We need to kill the depth that's behind. And again, when you look at it, Evanga should have buried that chance, because when you're playing against Chiefs, they keep on creating chances, and when you have that opportunity, look at it here. Fullbacks are isolated. A quality cross comes in. It was just for him to be more decisive, slide in there, and just make sure you score.
Nakovic, whenever he's back in the Chiefs team, he gives them a little bit more of a dimension, particularly when you look at what comes from the wings.
Yeah, what I love about Nakovic is he's a box striker, he's a target man, a man that relies on supply. You look at Bennett Parker fighting his way, getting the ball to Kama Billiard, but Kama Billiard gives him the perfect supply. You expect him to put that in the back of the net. He's coming back from injury. Confidence is a little bit low, but a delightful ball by Kama Billiard. Nakovic needs to be getting the goal in that moment. Keeper is beaten, open net, overconfident. He's leaning back as he's making contact with the ball. That's why it goes high.
He's not one of those players that needs 10 chances to bury 1 or 2, is he?
No, he's not one of those chances. I just think he just opened his foot a bit wide because it's his weak foot, also left foot, but no excuse. He's a striker, could have gone with his head, diving header, anything in there. But for me, I'm qualifying him for being in the box at the right time. The speed that he uses to get into the end of that cross, for me, that's good. And you'll see why they've been creating those chances. And at the end, he profits from that.
Oh, he does, Promoter, because he enjoys it, and the players like playing for him as well.
The moment that I want to go to is where he scores the goal, but the goal does not start with him. We don't say they are called goalkeepers anymore. We say they are called goal players. And the moment that I'm going to go to is going to be about Peterson, because when I go to the moment, you're going to see that it is Chippa United in attack. And when Chippa United are in attack, when we go to that move. Now, I want you to look at the number of white jerseys in this picture. There are 7. And when you're looking at the number of yellow jerseys, there are 8. It means that when I roll this moment, keep in mind that Chippa United are set at the back, because it's 3 versus 2 with the players that are not in your picture. When I roll the move forward, you're going to see that Peterson catches the ball. And as soon as he catches the ball, he plays the ball forward. And when he plays the ball forward, what I want you to look at now is look at that now. Now it means it's 3 versus 3. It's advantage to Kaizer Chiefs. They had the numerical advantage when they were defending Kaizer Chiefs. Now, let's look at what they are looking for. They are looking for the space in behind. That is the space that they are looking for in behind. That is Kama Billiard in orange. That is Nakovic in blue that is going to go get the goal. Now, when you move the move forward, look at Kama Billiard making that run in behind that defense. Bennett Parker knows his experience. He does not delay. He plays the ball for Kama Billiard. Now, when you look at it, you are thinking it's still 2 versus 1 in the box. Nakovic should be under control. Nakovic is the man in blue there. What is Nakovic looking for? He's looking for the space to run onto. Kama Billiard knows he needs to play this ball between the defender and also the goalkeeper. He plays it there. Nakovic puts the ball in the back of the net. That's what we call transitional play. That's what we call break attack, because on transition, that's how they get the goal. But now, on the slow motion point of view, I want to highlight the spaces and the importance of the goalkeeper in terms of how he starts this move. And when we go to the slow-mo angle, that's where you're going to see the full field, and you're going to be able to analyze as to where was Chippa supposed to be placed, because they were set. Numerically, they had the advantage. That is Chippa United. But when it goes to that move, as you look at it now, as soon as the ball is played, now, if you pause it there again, it's not right for the other 3 players that are recovering. That is the 3 midfielders that are recovering for Chippa United. Now, let's look at how the defense is when you're looking in terms of, are they set? It's 3 versus 2 in this moment. But the problem is Mtetwa has to come and cover. Now, when you roll the move forward, you're going to see that Tama Billiard goes into that space. And as soon as he goes into that space, what is key is what Nakovic does. We always say when you are coaching, coach, attack the near post if you are a striker. And in this instance, the striker
players in their transition, because 8 of the players were in defensive mode. 2 of them were up front, which was Parker and Nukovic. And Nukovic, where does he come from? Billiard, where does he come from? He comes more centrally, which means Ichipa had rest defense, perfect for them. Now, what does it mean for the goalkeeper? It means first he has to call his defense to say, make sure you are tight enough. They are not tight enough. For me, Intebalegilela, Pumuzo, is Peterson realizing Guti, the person who crosses the ball is a left back. It means nobody's covering him there. Where must we play that ball? Play it there. We're teaching the left back to say, when you go, venture forward, make sure your cross is a quality cross. But again, the rest defense needs to make sure that a full back is gone, who comes back closer to the ball to minimize the spaces so that Chiefs does not capitalize. They are not tight enough. They are not ready to defend as soon as transition. He spoke about it. Transition is key for you to understand moments, to say there's 4 moments in attack, transition from attack to defense, defense from transition to defense to attack. Like in between, it's key for you to have players that are awake to manage those situations.
Well, I mean, that wasn't it. There were more goals in this game, 4 to be exact, and they did get their goal, did Chippa United. It came from Evanga.
It came from Evanga. Also, Kaizer Chiefs, the mistake that they make in the Ivanga goal, they play a high line when there's no pressure on the ball carrier. And when I go to that moment, that's what I want to highlight. And when you look at it, you are looking at Nakovic in position of the ball. And when Nakovic is in position of the ball, as I roll it forward, he's dispossessed. And as soon as he is dispossessed, what do? They go wide, and Makobela has got the ball. And when he plays it, this angle does not show clearly what we want to highlight. But if Vanga scores the goal in this moment, he gets his 10th goal of the season. But when you go to the offside angle, that will be able to show us the whole pitch, will be able to highlight the spaces. Now, if you pause it there was a question of, is Ivanga offside? Now, we'll highlight Blom on the far side. Blom is playing him onside on the far side. Now, you're looking at the man that is going to go and score the goal. That is Ivanga. He's in an onside position. Now, before I involve the coach in this, that is the space that Ivanga is going to run onto. Now, the big question is, now, when you're looking at the man that is having the ball, that is Umakobela in that moment, coach. The rule is you don't play a high line when there's no pressure on the ball carrier. The ball carrier is in orange. The run that is going to be made by Ivanga, he's making that run. He's through on goal. Is 1v1. And when you roll it forward, you're gonna see that Makubela plays a delightful ball. The big space behind between Peterson and the last man in Ingezanga. Ivanga puts the ball in the back of the net. They are playing a high-line coach with no pressure on the ball carrier.
And the high line, somebody would say when a team is attacking, they become disorganized. But you must be ready for that. You're playing with five at the back. For me, the 3 center-backs that are there, Pomozo, they are very flat. Let's say Nurkovic could not go forward. What can happen? Let's recycle. They were not in good position to recycle the ball, firstly. Secondly, with Reese realizing that, oh no, this guy is going to play a long ball, drop. Forget about pressing there, we are already too late. Secondly, they are too close to that. Even the demeanor of Blom, for him to sprint back, the centre-backs to sprint there, they didn't do it, which means they're just standing there. Manzas would transport Aiko. Set yourselves up and say, in case we lose the ball, who's there to clean up? Who's there to cover? Because when you're attacking, you still need to be in a C shape. You can't be all flat in case we get to recycle the ball. So for me, a very important thing is for Chippa to recognize those moments to say, these guys are on top of us. They are dominating the game. Where are the holes? When they push up, all of them go. Let's play a counter-attack. We need to be effective and score goals with those counter-attacks.
That's perhaps a conversation that needs to be had. Kaizer Chiefs in the back. It's the second time now that we're speaking about it. They don't have quick players there. What happens when they're playing quicker teams? What happens when they're playing teams that are more alert to say, you're having your high press here? Guys, run into those spaces.
You need to starve the opposition of the space in behind. That's what Kaizer Chiefs is saying. And that's what the coach is saying. Somebody needs to drop off. He's talking about the C. That's the one of the centre-backs dropping off and giving that angle to be able to go cover either side wherever the ball is played. The mistake that they made, they played a high line and there was no pressure on the ball carrier.
Kama Billiat is part of our MVP list here, and you might ask yourself, I mean, he didn't score goals like what we're seeing the others. What is it about Kama Billiat that allows him to be part of the MVP list this weekend? What was Kama's contribution in this game?
We've already seen one contribution, which was the assist to the goal to Nagovic. In this instance, a set-piece specialist in terms of delivering that cross. You can see Barkas missed that ball at the highest point. Very lucky for Chippa United because it goes off the crossbar. But there's Barkas, missed it at the highest point, goes off the upright. Second opportunity goes to Raman Patlela. First phase of defending, the goalkeeper lets the ball go. Second phase, they managed to scramble and clear that ball off the line. But that's what Kama Billiat brings, the quality of the cross, the quality of the delivery.
And the coach is going to be happy with himself when he looks at the substitutions he chose to make and the impact of them.
They were playing with speed. And how do you continue with that? Bring in players that will continue where we left off. Ball retention, make sure that we are denying the opposition time and space to play those counter-attacks. And that's exactly what they did. Bakas coming in, making sure that he still keeps the ball to make sure they keep possession. And for me, it's the different angles that they are taking on. Take it from the left side to the right side, from the right side to the left side, because you've got a balance. Now, Cole comes in, and we know him for the one that grafts always, but he's not in the box. But in this moment, he's able to bulldoze into the box and make sure he scores there. Also, the quality of the cross that comes in, a crossy pass. And that's very important for our players to understand, technically, for you to add value, you need to understand, the weight of the pass, the height of the pass. Who am I passing the ball to as well? It's important. Sometimes you ask yourself, Marasi strikers lapaya central midfield. Finishing. It's not just tailored for strikers or attackers or defenders. Everybody's involved.
Now, here's the dilemma as far as Kaizer Chiefs faithfuls are concerned. They're saying, we're sitting in third, we're fighting for the second position. But we don't like the way Kaizer Chiefs are playing. And that's our issue with Stuart Baxter. And when you look at the goals as we've seen them now, they're coming down the wings, they're crossing for the big man in there, and he's scoring that goal. That key Kaizer Chiefs thing of having the two players that are creative in the middle, that are able to shake things up, are not there. How much of an issue do you think that is when you've got a winning team?
I don't see an issue because with the ball that we showed, the last goal, we need to speak about the coach's influence. The coach's influence is when the coach looks at his bench, brings on a player that is going to impact the game. Cole Alexander comes off the bench. He comes off the bench to influence the game. Now you look at how the goal is scored. It's on the right-hand side. There's an overload on the right-hand side. They see they can't go and cross. They come back to Blom. Blom plays the ball into the box. What does Nakovic do as a target man? He moves away. And when he moves away, it opens the space for Cole Alexander to make the late run into the box. And that's how Kaizer Chiefs gets the goal. It's not a route one ball. They are moving the ball from a pressure area to a non-pressure area. Cole Alexander benefits from that. And I think with that, the coach is doing a brilliant job.
It still sits to say, yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's crosses. But
I think Meles Babu's that's the first thing. Secondly, do they have the players to do that? Thirdly, who are they comparing them to? You're comparing them to Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, the top 8, with these players, these teams are playing this type of football. Now, the fans are upset because maybe the results haven't been coming previously, the type of football that's there. But I don't think Kaizer Chiefs should be penalized that much because the results are coming. Probably Basa Kokomoya, Basa Tolindlela, no coach is also finding ways with how can I bring back effective football? That's what he's getting so that he gets the results. For me, that's how I'm looking at it.
Well, there you do. You've had it from the experts as a Kaizer Chiefs fan who's not happy with the way they're playing, but the results are coming. Speaking of results, 2 South African teams in the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup getting the results. One not maybe scoring the goals and winning the match, but nonetheless, they get off top of their groups.
AmaZulu's CAF Champions League historic group stages campaign finally came to an end this past Friday, but it was not without a gallant effort as they played to a hard-fought 1-1 draw away to AC Horoya in Guinea. The host drew first blood just before half-time. It was Burkina Faso's Nikima who punished the visitors' sloppiness at the back as he fired past Gabonese goalkeeper a curling strike into the far right corner. AmaZulu abuya ke athola igoli lokulinganisa ekuqaleni kwesibambe sesibili. Umkhonto kaSatib Koulibaly wagwaza ekhaya, and that's how they started their journey without Benny McCarthy at the helm, securing 2 coefficient points for Mzansi in the next CAF Interclub editions. Mamelodi Sundowns wrapped up their CAF Champions League group stages in style as they finished unbeaten in Group A and amassed the highest number of points, 16, after hammering Sudanese side Al Merrikh in front of their fans at FNB Stadium. The opening goal came from an unlikely source, George Maluleka, who was playing in only his 3rd game of the season and his first appearance and start in the Champions League so far. Kwisibambe sesibili abafana baseMamelodi bebayifuna phansi naphezulu Al Merrikh baziyenzela nje i-counter press ebihlangane kahle ne-high press iyona esize ukuthi uSurprise Ralani athole igoli elesibili. It was then super sub Kermit Erasmus's turn to end his goal drought as he netted for the first time this season in 14 matches in all competitions, and it was a stupendous strike and one that's fitting for a team that's chasing its 2nd star and its first in 6 years. Orlando Pirates will go into the CAF Confederation Cup quarterfinals draw tomorrow as Group B winners after they held on to their top spot following a goalless draw against Libyan side Al Ittihad at Orlando Stadium yesterday. Playing in front of their fans for the first time since March 2020, a poor turnout for the anticipated 15,000 crowd. Pirates huffed and puffed in the final third as they struggled to produce a single shot on target. Kodwa okubalekile ukuthi amaBuccaneers afikile kuma-quarter finals kanti kubukeka sengathi azohlangana nelinye lamaqembu ase-Egypt, ama-Pyramids noma i-Al Masry noma i-Simba FC yase-Tanzania.
Right, this is the confirmed quarterfinalists, of course, that are going through in the Champions League. Al Ahly getting in there on the last day. Sundowns, 16 points is how they got through. Raja Casablanca, ES Setif, ES Tunis, Belazadad and Wydad Casablanca, Pedro de la Runda are all the teams that are going through. It's going to be a tough one as far as the Champions League is concerned. Sundowns are going to have to, of course, make sure with Maqinisa in the Confederations Cup, there's one team to look for there, and it is, of course, the Pagania. There they are, but they'll have to go past teams like Tripoli, Pyramids, TP Mazembe, as well as Al Masry, who they've played, and Simba SC. Those are all the confirmed quarterfinalists. It's all about the MVP. You can decide how we play out on this show, and it's called the MVP. Nabage, uyazi ukuthi benzeni bonke ukuthi Maluleka igoli lakhe lokuqala egqoke ezeSandawana. uClement Erasmus washaya idiya nje volovolo inganono yegoli. It's the same, of course, for uVictor Mtswalo Shamabili. Ronald Williams is clearly here because he was able to make 9 stops against France. 9 stops. Add that to the 5, and you know what the scoreline would have been. Kama Billiards' inclusion in the 3 goals against Chipa United makes him get in here. Justin Shonga, Shamkalangwan in 20. And Samenokovic, he comes back and scores his first.
You still don't get it, do you?
This month on S3's Retro Hour, we're going full throttle, hunting down all the bad guys.
Ow, 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 ow! What? Bad shoulder, you have to cuff my hands in front.
Yeah. Get us.
Excellent work, Jerome. He's right. What were you 3 thinking?
It's either us or the police, Mrs. Bingham. No, no police. Well, that narrows it down.
Fine.
Open up to our retro hour weekdays at 12 noon on S3. Whoops.
Why do I get the feeling it isn't the first time you've done this?
Cape Town, South Africa, December 3rd, 1967. Brothers Chris and Marius Barnard and a dedicated cardiac team performed the world's first heart transplant. The news shook the world. The recipient, Louis Waskansky. The donor, Denise Darvel. Now, 50 years later, we reveal a long-kept secret. Has credit been given where due? And finally, if the heart is just a pump, why does it mean so much?
Heart starts to beat like that. I'll never forget Chris's words. It works.
A true life chronicle, Change of Heart. Wednesday, 10:30 on 2.
What makes a champion? Is it stepping up to the penalty spot without fear?
It's swung in! Oh, what a chance!
Is it putting your body on the line when it matters most?
That's really nicely done. Here he is. Long ball played in. Chance in! Opportunity into the back of the net!
Is it showing your tears for the world to see after a heartbreaking loss?
A remarkable performance here.
Is it lifting the trophy with pride?
They've done it!
Yes. It's the magnificence of our champions, handmade and crafted on our beautiful African soils. Witness the triumph of the 2021-2022 Total Energies CAF Champions League live on SABC Sport channels, SABC TV channels, and SABC radio stations in your language of choice. This season, we are #Crowning Champions, and we love it here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Hey, you're live on Soccerzone. It's a new thing, this thing. Now remember, when it's time for that second half of the day, your energy is normally a little run down. With a small cream decker from Debonair's Pizza, you can achieve the lunch energy you need to keep going throughout the day. Cram more day into your day with a small cram decker. That's 2 layers, 3 cheeses, and a cheese griller cram crust for just 69 Rands and 90 cents. It's Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing. All right, we're going to move on now and go to women's football. And I'm glad that I have an expert of women's football sitting right here with us. But this time around, it's not local. We're taking a look at the FA.
Out to Brighton, 3 in blue in the area. England, one of them. Fleming, it's there! Jessie Fleming puts Chelsea in front. Bryson lost her footing and has lost the ball. England is sent it on for Brighton. And England! Wonderful Chelsea goal! Picked up now by Brighton. This to settle it, surely. Well, it wasn't the cleanest of contacts, but Sam Kerr got the job done. Here's Cuthbert. Cuts it back. Kerr! Adds a 4th for Chelsea. So, Beth, England looking to hit a brace against Reading, and does so. Beth, England is at the double for Chelsea once again.
Ford plays it in, and that's a wonderful goal. Beth Mead helping it in inside 90 seconds. Williamson onto Miedemar, beautifully taken down. Mead, first touch trying to get past Plumtree, but it's into the back of the net. Miedemar. Here's Paris onto Miedemar, and it's 3. Lovely flowing move from Arsenal. Here's Paris. Oh, and it's an own goal.
kick out. Oh, there's the answer. Leon Goretzka. Wonderful understanding between those two. And here's Pedersen. Oh, he's got it, scored! 17 seconds after making his way onto the pitch. Lucas Hernandez. Gnabry has created space for himself. And Serge Gnabry, almost as though he had taken inspiration from Peterson at the other end. Kingsley Coman, in it goes, helped in by Flecken. Gnabry only scored once already. Defenders trying to get back in a hurry. It came off Flecken. Sané for Müller. Gnabry didn't quite have the angle, but Marcel Sabitzer does. And it's a significant moment for the Austrian. His first ever Bundesliga goal with Bayern.
Tenacity. Nkunku. Chance for Lyman. Dinks it over Gregor Kobel. Let's goal. But Leipzig look sharp when they come forward. Nkunku. They're queuing up. There's another one.
Their game.
Nkunku. Olmo. Oh, it's all good stuff. Lyman looking for the third goal. Nkunku gets it. Man with the corner. At last. And they're sort of queuing up again. Olmo positions it perfectly. Danny Olmo hits a screamer from outside the box.
Oh man, what a game that was. It's fourth place Leipzig beating Dortmund by 4-1. But take a look at that. Germany, it's two that get automatically relegated and one that goes into the players' tour. So as it stands now, Fürth are probably sitting in a position where they're looking at Izambe. They've got 10 points difference between them and Hertha Berlin in that bottom three. There is still a playoff spot. Stuttgart, not a team you'd expect to see there as well. 12th as well, it's Mönchengladbach, which you don't expect to be seeing in the bottom half. But it's the top half that's more exciting. Look at the difference between Dortmund, who lost over the weekend, and Bayern.
Yeah, you're looking at a gap of 9 points. And what I'm interested in also in the Bundesliga is Lewandowski. He's now on 31 goals. Yeah. And he's really running away with that top goal scorers trophy, Andile. But when you're looking at Erland, he's only on 16 goals. And that's the man that is supposed to be putting pressure on Lewandowski. But I see him running away with it.
The difference between Lewandowski and the second top goal scorer in the Bundesliga is 11 goals. That is absolutely astounding. But let's take a break now. But before we do, I want to see ukuthi amakhosi enze yazibona into evotwayo eMzansi. Wafaka amakhosi. Uzobona wena buka nje. This is what our poll looks like at the moment. Who was your MVP is what we've asked him. Kamabili to 51% of the votes there. Kermit Erasmus with 22%. Justin Shonga as well with 24 points. There is, of course, multiple pages. So get onto our Soccerzone for Sure page and you can take a vote there as well. Kamabilit is leading so far, so you might just see a throw in or a corner Kamala at the end because that's what you're voting for. Semenokovic is, well, he's still leading here, isn't he? George Malulega there, he gets 36%. I know Gutu Pumuzo was shocked at that one there. And Victor Etoile with 25%.
But we'll
take a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, the MVP is relieved.
Mzansi football is about to change forever.
Football is freedom. Let's just go there and enjoy ourselves. Let's play. There's nothing impossible. We just go there and win the game.
Crunching tackles and lightning pace have a new face. Istande, Zamaya, and Ishibobo will be executed with perfection. Tactics will come alive with excellence and precision, just by the players you're yet to meet. Our names will be known from KwaZulu to the Free State. Our names will be praised from the Table Mountain to the hills of Venda. Because this time around, we, the women of Mzansi, take to the field. We're taking Itisti to new heights. Our home is football, and we love it here.
Double save! A double save!
Catch all the action of the Hollywood Bets Super League live on SABC 1, S3, DTT, and also available on Telkom 1. SABC Sport is the home of football.
On the next episode of Triumph. Now imagine how frightening it is to go from fit, healthy and active to being unable to move or talk.
When you're going in and out of comas, you lose touch of what's real and what's not real. When you're in ICU and like people die around you.
And then you get hit by COVID-19.
I definitely was like, what's next now? After 9 months in hospital, you know, can I just get some peace?
Every Sunday afternoon at 2 SABC2.
Wat is nou lekkerder as om saam met 'n paar vriende om die kombuistafel te kuier, maar die blote gedagte aan onthou bring daardie angsgevoel soms soveel nader wat heeltemal onnodig is. 'n Lekker dis om vooraf reg te kry vir onthou is gevulde sampioene. Dis geurig, vinnig en dit is ook vegetaries, maar die beste is dis 'n lekker bykos vir iets soos 'n steak of ook hoender en vis. Kom kuier saam met my Dinsdae aande om 7 slegs op SABC2.
Are you ready for a brand new season of Relate?
I can say yes, I can say no.
Relate Season 6 starts this May, but till then, you'll enjoy some highlights from Season 5.
Kirille, I can say yes, I can say no.
Relate, Thursdays, 8:30 on 2. Point of order. To me or not to me? That is the joke.
On point of order today.
Remember all the fun and laughs we had? Well, get ready for more with Tumi Morake and her panel of local celebs.
Join us for this truly glamorous show. It's gonna be killer.
Point of order.
Tune in.
Friday, 8 April on SABC2.
Point of order.
Well, I mean, you can see, there it is, the results. Karma Brilliant winning the very first award as the MVP of the brand new Soccerzone there. I don't know what I'm going to do because I can't show Mkalamwane, I can't show any of those, but here he is. Pumuzo, this year, wins him.
It wins him because he has 2 assists in the game. Because also the goal that is scored by Udoli, he wins the free kick. So he was very important in terms of Kaizer Chiefs winning over the weekend.
It's all Nedbank Cup weekend, of course. It's Saturday. It's Baroka that are still within a chance in the Nedbank Cup, although they're struggling, of course, as far as the league is calling. They're playing Marumorel AM. They're flying up high. They'll want to get their first piece of silverware in the DSTV Premiership. They're taking on the University of Pretoria at Chatsworth Stadium. Both those matches live right here on SABC1. Again, Vale Pumuzo Zovala now get Yaika with Lalil Ndimayaka, with Shaili Pass. That's it from the coach, Pumuzo Manenza, and myself. It's the all new Soccerzone. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we're here every single Monday, and you can catch us live on SABC1. Pella. And so, me.
Hello and welcome to the Match Extra. It was another international break of contrasting emotions for the Liverpool squad.